On September 2025, the world learned of the passing of Greene, the celebrated Canadian actor who left an unforgettable mark on film and television. He was 73 years old, and his representatives confirmed that he had been facing a lengthy illness. For many, the news was not just the loss of a remarkable performer, but also the end of a voice that had represented dignity, depth, and authenticity for decades. Tributes quickly poured in from across the world, but one of the most moving came from someone who knew him well on and off the screen: Kevin Costner. The very next day, on September 2nd, Kevin Costner took to Instagram to share his feelings about his late friend and colleague. His tribute stood out because of its sincerity and because it came from someone who had shared one of the most meaningful chapters of Greene's career. Costner reflected on their time together on Dances with Wolves, the 1990 epic that changed both of their lives and shaped how Hollywood approached Indigenous stories. In his post, Costner said that when he thought of Greene, a few things came immediately to mind. One was Greene's dedication to learning the Lakota language for his role as Kicking Bird. Another was the joy Costner felt when Greene was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance. Costner also recalled one particular scene that demonstrated Greene's subtle mastery of acting, a moment where, without many words, he managed to establish a bond between Costner's character, Lieutenant Dunbar, and the Lakota people. Summing up his tribute, Costner called Greene a master at work and a wonderful human being, adding that he was grateful to have witnessed this part of his lasting legacy. He closed his message with a simple farewell. "Rest in peace, Graham." The words resonated with thousands because they came from someone who had not only directed Dances with Wolves, but also shared some of its most memorable scenes with Greene. The film, released in 1990, was more than just a critical and box office success. It was a cultural moment. Costner's vision of a Civil War soldier living among the Lakota people became a landmark in cinema, and Greene's portrayal of Kicking Bird stood at the center of that achievement. His performance was layered, dignified, and deeply human, avoiding the stereotypes that Hollywood so often attached to Indigenous roles. His work earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor, a recognition that made him one of the few Indigenous actors at that time to be celebrated at such a high level. For many audiences, Greene's role in Dances with Wolves was their introduction to his talent. The quiet strength he brought to the character of Kicking Bird helped redefine how Indigenous people could be portrayed on screen. Costner's memories of Greene's willingness to immerse himself in the Lakota language reflect just how committed he was to authenticity, even at a time when the industry did not always prioritize it. That dedication, paired with his natural ability to communicate with presence rather than words, set him apart. But Greene's career did not stop with Dances with Wolves. Over the following decades, he built a body of work that was both diverse and respected. He appeared in Maverick in 1994, bringing humor and wit to a Western comedy. In 1995, he joined the action blockbuster Die Hard with a Vengeance alongside Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. In 1999, he delivered another memorable performance in The Green Mile, the Stephen King adaptation that remains a favorite among audiences. Later, he reached younger viewers with roles in The Twilight Saga, New Moon in 2009, and Breaking Dawn, Part 2 in 2012. His presence extended to television as well, where he continued to show range and adaptability across different genres. Each performance carried his trademark steadiness and authenticity, whether he was playing a dramatic role or appearing in lighter, more commercial projects. What made Greene's career even more inspiring was the path he took to get there. Born in Oswego, Ontario, he did not initially set out to be an actor. Before finding his place on stage and screen, he worked a variety of jobs: carpenter, welder, draftsman, carpet layer, roadie, and audio technician. Acting came into his life almost by accident, but once he stepped into that world, his natural skill and presence became undeniable. In a 2017 interview, Greene described his work with characteristic humor. He said that acting provided him with food, water, and shelter, comparing it to the simple life of a dog. That down-to-earth perspective reflected his approach to both his career and his life: focused, unpretentious, and grateful. Off-screen, Greene's personal life was equally important. He is survived by his wife, Hilary Blackmore, his daughter, Lily Lazar Greene, and his grandson, Tarlo. For all the accolades and recognition, Greene often prioritized the simple joys of family and the quiet aspects of life. His humility, even after decades of success, stood out to those who worked with him. The tributes following his passing have emphasized not only his skill as an actor, but also his role in shifting how Indigenous stories were told in mainstream cinema. Younger Indigenous actors often point to Greene as a trailblazer, someone who made it possible to imagine a career in an industry that historically marginalized or misrepresented their communities. He proved that Indigenous roles could be powerful, respected, and layered with complexity. Kevin Costner's words serve as a reminder of how much Greene was admired by his peers. Costner was not just speaking as a director or co-star, he was speaking as someone who had witnessed Greene's dedication up close. To call someone a master at work is one of the highest forms of respect in the film industry. To add that he was also a wonderful human being underscores the balance Greene maintained between professional excellence and personal character. Costner's gratitude to have witnessed Greene's legacy is something shared by audiences and colleagues alike. Graham Greene's death marks the end of a remarkable career, but his influence will continue to be felt for years to come. His performances remain accessible to new generations of viewers, and his example will continue to inspire actors, particularly those from underrepresented communities, to bring authenticity and dignity to their work. Costner's tribute captured what many feel, a deep sense of loss, but also a profound appreciation for what Greene gave the world. As the industry reflects on his passing, one truth becomes clear. Graham Greene was more than an actor. He was a bridge between cultures on screen, a steady presence in every role, and a man who carried his success with humility. Kevin Costner's heartfelt words summed it up simply but powerfully. Greene was both a master and a wonderful human being. His legacy is now part of film history, but more importantly, it remains alive in the hearts of those who watched him, worked with him, and loved him.